The CDC issues a new order temporarily halting evictions with yours truly, Prince Dykes. We're going to talk about this new CDC order that they extended today. What does this mean to investors? All of the great stuff. Now, y'all probably saw me earlier, live a little bit earlier, but I was having some technical difficulties. They said my sound was off or something like that. So I'm redoing this episode to make sure my sound is complete. So if my sound is coming in good, y'all let me know, all right? And if you are catching this live, y'all know what to do. Go ahead and drop a comment in the comment box. But ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and make sure. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Hit that like, comment, and share button. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, yours truly, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time. So let's jump straight into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the CDC today has issued a new order concerning temporary halting of evictions. So let's go over to the CDC website. We're on cdc.gov if you want to read this. This was updated on August 3rd. Temporary protection from evictions. The CDC, coming from the CDC website, it says the CDC is issuing a new order temporarily halting evictions in counties with heightened levels of community transmissions in order to respond to the recent unexpected developments in the trajectory of the COVID-19 pandemic, including the rise of the Delta variant. It is intended to target specific areas of the country where cases are rapidly increasing, which likely will be exacerbated. I think that's how you say that word, by mass evictions. Long story short is saying that in certain counties, we always hearing about this Delta variant that's coming back out and all these other good things like that. And they say, hey, if you start evicting a bunch of people, a lot of people go to homeless shelter, people become homeless, people start becoming roommates. This can help spread it when we're trying to slow it down. So this is why they put out this new memorandum. So let's look further into this memorandum. Now, inside of this memorandum, people are asking the question. Let me pull it up. Y'all give me 1 second. Inside of this memorandum, you want to know what is it exactly saying. So now here we go. This is the memorandum. And what I like about it the most, this is on the CDC website, and it was signed on August 3rd, which is yesterday/today. This is midnight because, this is the most random show out there. So this is the thing I like about it the most, it gives a nice timeline. And for investors out there, people say that, hey, once we get back to these evictions, the real estate market could potentially crash. Good point. But let's look at this. This is going to debunk all of this as we go along. So here we go here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to find the history of evictions. Y'all give me 1 second. All right. Where are you at? You're trying to hide from me, but I'm going to find you. All right. Okay. Nope. We're going to go up before that. Where essentially what they're going to do is give out a breakout of, I've read through all of this and it's a lot of jargon, but all of this saying that, hey, we don't want people to be homeless during this time of the pandemic. They're saying only for people who make under $100,000. If you're married, it's under 200,000, actually 198,000. So if you're a single person, you're under 100,000, you kind of qualify. If you're over 100,000, you don't qualify. If you're married, filing jointly, if you're married, it's like 198,000 and you qualify. And you have to be in one of these areas where the pandemic is, kicking up, because they don't want people to take advantage of them, right? They don't want people to take advantage of the whole thing and find this is a reason not to pay for their, So right here, they give a whole breakdown. So let's go right here. As of August 3rd, 2021, there has been almost 200 million cases of COVID-19 globally, resulting in over 4.2 million deaths. Almost 35 million cases have been identified in the United States, with new cases reported daily, and almost 610,000 deaths have been attributed to the disease. A newly resurgence in cases in the United States begun in early July 2021. Case counts rose from 19,000 cases on July 1st to 103 cases on July 30th. Forecasted case counts predict that cases will continue to rise over the next 4 weeks. So right here, you're saying, hey, we went from 19,000 to 103,000. So they're looking at this big jump. And if we having these big jumps and also we're letting people get evicted, this could be a bad thing. Now, let's say if you are someone who owns land and you have someone who's a tenant. Do you want someone as a tenant saying, hey, man, I can't afford my rent. I was a waiter at Outback Steakhouse and I can't afford my rent now. So guess what? Kick rocks. I'm not paying rent and I can't kick this person out. That's what it sounds like, right? But here we go. Let's roll down a little bit further. So I got something that can help out potential tenants, if you didn't know, and landlords as well. So right here, they talk about the CARES Act. Let me see, can I get down to it? I want to make sure I'm following the same piece. So right here, they get down to it on the CARES Act, right? So right here, it says right here, Congress passed the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act to aid individuals and businesses as adversely affected by COVID-19 in March of 2020. Section 402.24 of the CARES Act provided a 120-day memorandum on eviction filings as well as other protections for tenants in certain rental properties with federal assistance or federal related mortgage financing. They're giving out federal assistance and financing if you have mortgages. These protections helped alleviate the public health consequences of tenant displacements during the COVID-19 pandemic. The CARES Act eviction memorandum expired on July 24th, 2020. This protection in the CARES Act supplemented temporary evictions memorandum rent freezing implemented by the government and other local officials using emergency powers. So essentially, they're going to go down here and they're going to tell you they gave out, I want to say, $25 billion. The federal government gave state and local authorities $25 billion. And this $25 billion is something that can be used by tenants. So if you're a tenant that qualify, you make under $100,000, you live in a high cost, not a high cost, but an area where the pandemic, the Delta variant is going crazy and rampant, you can file for federal aid from your state and local government that has money that receive billions of dollars from the federal government. You can say, hey, you know, my rent is $2,000. I can't afford it. And you can use that to pay back your landlord. Now, if you're a landlord and you have tenants that can't afford to pay, you need to be coaching your tenants on how to reach out to these federal funds. So the government has put out federal funds for, let's say, hey, I'm renting out my house. I still have a mortgage and I have tenants that are not paying. Now you need to, if I was in that situation, I would be coaching my tenants to say, hey, you need to be filing for these federal funds and, you know, to help, you know, alleviate the pressure of your rent. So that's one thing that you can be doing as well. So the reason why I bring this up and the reason why I'm showing this, what does this have to do with an investor? So people are looking at this saying, oh, once this eviction memorandum eases, it's going to be a lot of people on the street during the middle of a pandemic. And this is why, you know, you're looking at the government put out billions and billions of dollars. Here it is. Congress also provided $25 billion in emergency rental assistance for payment of rent and renters, right? So for right here, you can have people go out and say, hey, look, the government has said, hey, if you have a tenant that's not paying, or if you're a tenant that can't afford it, we have funds available for you to be able to pay your rent during this hard time. So this is something that I looked at, and I bring up why I believe the housing market is going to slow versus fall off a cliff. You know, it's going to slow versus fall off a cliff. Now, let's see what y'all are saying here in the comments. We got X2727. He said, if I recall, the problem for the landlord is if they use the government money for the CARES Act, they must give up certain rights. Now, you're right. Now, if for prime example, the reason, one of the big things is that if you are a restaurant owner and you file for a PPP loan or government assistance and say, hey, give me $10 million so I don't lay off my workers, and they give you $10 million, and then you turn around, you can't lay off your workers anyway. Some people were doing that. Some people will be like, oh, they'll get the money from the government and they'll still lay off their workers. They'll still close down their business because the government is giving people money. They're giving companies money so companies won't have to lay out people, pushing up unemployment numbers. They're giving landlord people money, landowners money, because they don't want people to be on the streets. For a prime example, the reason how you haven't seen foreclosures all across the country is they have forbearances. So mortgage companies are not, well, if you have a federally backed government loan, they're not putting people on the street or foreclosing on people because the government is assisting on that. So essentially, you do have to give up some of your rights, but a lot of it is like common sense. Like, hey, you can't take the government's money and still lay people off. You can't take the government's money and still kick people out of their houses, stuff like that. So it is true that you have to give up some of your rights, but I'm putting this out there because a lot of people say, oh, the real estate market is going to fall off the cliff. And I believe that it's going to slow and stall more than fall off because of government tools. These are monetary policy. Well, not monetary. These are physical policies. This was passed by Congress. These are physical policies that help that are a government tool, a physical policy that helps with the government with stopping things from happening. Think about in 2020, if we'd have all these people lost their houses. Think about if a bunch of people would have foreclosed on their houses because they lost their jobs. Imagine how would the economy look right now if people were evicted from their homes? So the government have tools like physical and monetary policies. Monetary policies lowering down the physical rate, lowering down the interest rates, and the physical policy of passing laws like this, what the CDC is doing, not allowing people to be kicked out of their homes, and also putting funding in front of the tenants to say, hey, you can qualify for funding to be able to pay your rent during this hard time if you qualify. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give you guys and girls that, and hopefully y'all got something out of it. Hopefully y'all took something from it. And yeah, there we go. The CDC has extended it. Now, one thing I didn't see how long they were extending it, but they are extending it. All right. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, if you haven't done so, let me see. He said, is this good news for the market today? Yes, I think that anytime I think that's only said that is this good news for the market today. I say yes. Anytime you see government policies come into place and you're not going to see evictions and people get evicted all over the place, that's a good thing. You don't want to see homeless people and people getting evicted out of houses left and right. And the government is providing a line of funding for what you call it. Now, this is bad because, yes, the government is printing money, throwing it into the economy, causing inflation. That's the downside. Every cause is going to have an effect. It's great that people don't get evicted from their houses, but also the government just printed up $25 billion and threw it at the government, and we're wondering why we're having so much information. All right. So Omely said, cool. X2727 said, thank you for the clarification. No problem there. Anytime you take money from the government, they're going to make sure you're not going to be a sleazeball in most cases. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys and girls got some knowledge. Good morning. Happy investing. And until the next video, podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy y'all see me doing around the globe, my name is Prince Dykes. This is the Investor Show. Peace. Be safe. I'm out. And thank you.